So we are going to quickly talk about what exactly we talked about in the last class, and then we could continue our discussion right from there. Right. So what happened in the last class was we talked about Python. Now, can you let me know that why exactly we are studying Python? What is the benefit of Python over other languages? Yes, can anyone let me know? What is the benefit of using Python over other languages? Other languages? Yes. Okay. Okay. Mhm. Okay. So Python is beginner friendly. Okay. What else? What else? What else? Less syntax. Okay. What else? Fast? No. Yeah, I mean it is fast, but still not the term, still not the thing that I was looking for. Independent. Okay. Still one thing I was looking for. I guess we are on live as well. Let's check with the live audience as well, in case you have any answers. Many libraries. Yes, that is the best answer out there. That it has a lot of library base, and since because of the large library base, it is very helpful. Right? How is it helpful? Uh, Understand that other languages do have library, but Python has a lot of libraries, and these libraries are going to be very helpful if you're actually doing something. Now, what exactly is a library? Understand that we took the same example in the last class as well. Understand that supposedly you're carrying a bag, and that bag has notebook inside of it, right? So the notebooks that you're talking about, those notebooks are your functions, and this entire bag is a library that is holding them together, right? That's the basic definition of what is a language and what is a function. Now, we talked about functions, we talked about basic functions, we talked about that there are two kind of functions. One is the inbuilt functions, the functions that are predefined when we were creating Python, and another is the user defined, that is created by the user as and when they need them, right? So if we jump back to what we have studied, first of all is print basic hello world. So whatever you are printing, it is going to be printed as it is, right? That's your inbuilt function. Next, we talked about printing different things, and then we talked about the concept of variables, right? So variables are basically containers that are there to store something out there, right? You want to store something, you can do store that there. Okay. We skipped on a few concepts because we were trying to take it as much possible as further. We skipped about different kind of operators. So you have arithmetic operator, you have logical operator, you have uh, conditional operators, you have like all these different comparison operators, right? So you have these kind of operators that you can identify, right? You can read that on your own in the articles. So variable is basically a container which can store anything. There's a nomenclature that is associated with it, that it should start with this, it should have this, and something like that. Just read about that in the articles. Then we talked about an input function that is input, and whenever you give something, it is going to store that. Right. We also talked about typecasting. Right. Now, what is typecasting? I am writing. Supposedly, I'm writing a is equal to int of. I have to reconnect this as well. Input give age, right? Now what is happening is print. Okay, I'm writing 12. Nothing's happening because I have to print a as well. Now if I run this and I ask for age 12, I'm going to get the answer as 12. That's absolutely okay. But whereas if it asks for age and I'm writing Harsh, then what happens is I am getting an error that there is no such thing like that. Why? Because I have typecasted it to have integer values only. That means it should have integer values. It should only store integer values. That is your typecast. Okay. Now, once I'm done with that, I have to let you know about one more thing. Supposedly, I have taken a name as Harshvardhan. right? And I have taken age as 25, right? Now I can print. Using print, I can write that hey, my name is Harshun Singh and my age is this. Supposedly, I want to write something like that, right? I can write that hey, my name is, and then comma, and then name, right? Something like that. I can do something like that. My age is, comma, my age is, right? I can write it like this, but this is a little time consuming. And age, right? It can print something like that. A better alternative to do that is using the f string. Now, what does f string do? You first of all write, yeah, you first of all write f, then you write quotes, okay? Small f and then quotations. This is going to initialize the this f string, right? So once you done that, then you are going to write whatever string you want to write. You can write it as it is, like hey, my name is, and whenever a variable is being called, you have to write that within curly braces. Name, my age is age, right? So it can do the same piece of thing and in a much more efficient and better manner. So it's better than writing again this, then comma, then name, then again this, then comma, right? So this is the concept of f string, and it is better to use this concept of f string in the further things, in the upcoming lectures, in the anything that you're learning. Try to use f string. It looks a little more professional. Okay. Then we have conditional. We talked about conditional statements. We have if, else, and elif. If and else, if a condition is being met, otherwise you have else. If any other condition, then you have to going to do this. Then you had an elif to include additional if statements that were not included. Right? So you have if, else, and in between them you have elif. For that, this is the use case. Supposedly, I want to have three categories in which 18 to 100 is eligible, 0 to 17 is a child, and anything else is invalid. So I've written that in this format. Then I gave you simple tasks or simple interest, right? And a simple calculator, right? This is something that we did in the last class. So we are done with conditionals. Now we have to move to a new concept. Before I move to a new concept, okay, we can directly give me the answer for this question so that I can move directly. I'm just going to pose a question. Okay. What is the answer for this? Just let me know. What am I going to get as the answer for this? What am I going to get in the answers? And try to be uh, as active in the chats as possible, because otherwise it's you're just going to sleep. Yeah, right. Okay. Hey, right. So that's what it's going to be printed. Because if true, that means if any condition is being satisfied, that means if true, then only it is going to go inside this, right? Now, I'm going to pose a question, and let's see how many of you are able to solve this. Okay. For this code, what exactly is going to be printed? Now this will help you to identify that what exactly is being going on. If you are able to understand the concept of indentation, if you are able to understand the other concepts, that's what it's going to help me do that. So write me the answers. What exactly this is going to print? Only hey. Anything else? Let's check with the others as well. Hey, hi. Someone's writing hey, hi. Then is one is telling hey, 12. Okay. Let's check with others in the online, in the live as well. People from the YouTube as well. What exactly is going to be the answers? People are writing hey, hi. And some are writing hey, 12. Hey, hi, 12. Okay. Let's check. I'm going to get the answer as hey. Why is it now? Can someone let me know? Why is this? Why is it only printing hey? Yes. Why is it only printing hey? First of all, is it correct or not? Hmm. Okay. See, if true or false is going to come true, that means it is going to go inside and it is going to print hey. Hey is getting printed. Then, then what is happening is it is checking for other cases, right? Right. So it is checking on other cases. If false, right? So this is not going to go inside it. Then elif true, right? That means it can go inside this, and it is going inside this. It is going inside elif, right? And once it is inside elif, it is checking for this condition. If true and false, that means it is going to print and, right? Sorry, it's going to print false. Since it's going to print false, it's not going to go inside it. So only if only hey is getting printed. Is everyone did everyone understand that? Did you guys understand that? This is the use case of conditional. This is people in the interviews could ask you question like these because I myself ask question like these. Yeah, clear? Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Let's move forward. Next. Next, we're going to talk about is the concept of loops. Now, if I'm talking about loops, you have two kind of loops exactly in Python. You have a for loop, you have a while loop. There's another loop that is do while loop, but that is not applicable in Python. So you have only for loop and you have while loop. Okay. So let's check with the for loop how exactly it's being written. So in the for loop, you're going to use a range function. In the range, if I write 5, I print this, I'm getting range 0 to 5. Okay. That means the numbers between 0 and 5 are being stored inside this range. Okay. So if I extract one number at a time and then just print that, that would be very easy. But I need to do that several operation 5 times or 6 times or as many times. That is where the loops come into the picture. So let's run this. I'll write for, this is how you initialize, I in range 5. Okay. First of all, you must be entering that what is I? I is just a variable that is storing the values that we are getting from the range of the variable, from the range function. Okay. Now, why you must be wondering why exactly I added a colon? That's because Python asks for this. This is the syntax of Python. Hit enter. Now you're going to see something. What is this? This is two space or one tab space. This is the concept of indentation that we have already seen the if and else, right? So that means this is going inside it. Now if I write print of I, what is happening is initially the value of I started with 0. So 0 got printed, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, up till 5. But 5 is not printed, right? So if I write till 6, then it is printing 5. Okay. One more thing. You have also an option of writing supposedly 1 comma 5. Now what is happening is the range is from 1 to 5. That means I can start select my start as well. So 1, 2, 1 comma 5. If I print this, I'm still getting 1, 2, 3, 4. That means whatever is in the last place, it's always n minus 1 for them. So if I write 1 to 6, then I'm going to get first 5. Similarly, if I want first 10, then I'll have to write 1 to 11. and I'm getting first 10 values. Correct? So this is how you use the concept of loops. Now, there's one more thing, that is the concept of loops in the range function. You have start, you have stop, and you also have step. So if I write comma 2, now there are three arguments that I'm passing: start, stop, and step. If I run this, I'm getting something like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. That means initially it is starting with 1, okay? Then it is skipping two steps. Well, 1, taking 1, 2. It is printing 3. Then 3, 4, printing 5. 5, 6, printing 7. Got it? This is how it works. Indentation can print horizontally, sir. Horizontally, you can. You can. If you just write, there is a function in Python. You just write end is equal to and then quotes. Now it is getting printed. So basically, what you have, print statement by default has an end of a next line. You can change the end using end argument, and through that you can print it horizontally as well. Right? Okay. So this is how it's getting printed. Right. Now, if I write something like this, 2, comma 9, comma 3, can you let me know what exactly is going to be printed now? Yes. What would be the answer that it is going to print? What is it going to print? 2, 5, and 8. Okay. That means it is going to start from 2, it is going to go till 9, but 9 would not be included. So it is starting from 2, it is going till 8, and it has a step of 3. That means 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 5, 6, 7, and 8 is getting printed, right? Yes. Okay, so this is the concept of loops. Now, if I write for I in range 10, comma 1, and if I print I now, I am not getting anything. Why is that the case? Can anyone let me know? You will get the previous class recording as Mina using the portal. If you go to the portal, under the live tab, you're going to see the recording of the last class. Yes, correct. Right. So what am I going to? Why am I not getting anything? Right. So you have just told me the fix, Shivam. Right. The thing why it is not printing that, it's because it is saying that start from 1, go till 1. Start from 10, go till 1. Now, the by default step of range function is 1. That means from 10 it is going to go to 11 or 12 or 13. It is going to increase in value, right? And you're telling it to go till 1, so it's not able to make that understanding. That is the reason it is not printing anything. That means if I include a range function here, and the range function has a value of -1, that means start from 10, go till 1, and every time we have a negative step. Okay. Still, 1 is not getting printed. So if I write 0, I'm going to get this value getting printed. Perfect. Now I have a question for you. I want you to print something like this. I want you to take a number. Suppose the number is 6. What I want is it should write 6x1 is equal to 6. 6x2 is equal to 12. Right, and dot 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 6x10 is equal to 60. In case I change from 6 to 7 or 10, 20, 50, it should change everything. Do this. Do this question, everyone. It will, no, there's no such attendance criteria. It's not mandatory or compulsory. It's just for your practice. It's just for your practice. So what is happening in the Nation Skill Up is basically we are providing you with the free content This is absolutely free because there were plenty of doubts that is it free, is it paid, are they going to pay something towards the end? No, there's no such thing. We are providing free content to you guys in the form of articles that is available to you every week and week. And for this, we are also having live classes in which we are trying to summarize the entire content of week one. See, I can summarize the entire content of Python in a single video, but I don't want to do that in 1 hour. I want you to take your time and we can explore that on our own easily, right? So write me this code, and because otherwise, if I am doing everything, then this would not be an informative session. So let's try to complete loops and a lot of things today. We're going to complete majorly a lot of things. Okay. Right, correct. Shubham. Yes, giving you 1 more minute. I'm also checking the solutions of the people who are doing that on YouTube. By the way. 30 more seconds. Okay, let's check. Yes. No, there's no such attendance or like this. Yes. How we're going to do this is, I am going to write, initially I'm going to take a number is equal to 6, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to run loop for I in range, start with 1, go till 11, and I'm going to use f string for this. Initially in the f string, I want what? I want number x, and I want I is equal to number multiplied by I. That's it. That's all it took. So if I change the number from 6 to 12, now I'm getting the table of 12. If I write 20, I'm getting the table of 20. Simple as that. Yes. Right. Next. Right. This is done. Next step that we have to do is, okay, let's check for loop. Let's do one more thing. For I in range, I am writing 5 and I am printing I. This is how it's getting printed. If I want to do the same kind of thing in a while loop, okay, let's see how it runs. So first of all, I have to give a condition. I have to initialize I as well. So I is equal to 0 while I is less than 5. Okay, and then what I have to do, I have to print I, and I have to write I is equal to I plus 1. Then I'm getting the same answers, right? So this is the difference between for loop and a while loop. For loop is done in 2 lines, while loop takes 4 lines. Initially, you have to define the variable. Here, you did not need to define it. Here, you have to define it, and here, you have to give a condition that up till which place you want to run it. Here, you don't need to do that. Once it's done, then you can write, then you have to print the entire thing, and you have to increase the value of the counter on your own as well. Right, so this is how you use a while operator, how you use a while loop. Which editor I'm using? I am using Google Colab. Okay, I'm using Google Colab. Okay, right. So as I mentioned, lecture one basically it's present in your dashboard, Gayatri. You can just check under the live section. This is what is about while loop. Now, where while loop is used by hackers and crackers. It's mostly used for forced entry or brute force entry. If you're writing certain codes in which you need to solve, don't stop the loop until unless a problem is solved. That's kind of where you use the while loop. Okay. So if suppose you have a password of 4 digits, then you are running a loop until unless the password is not cracked. So that is where you can use the concept of loops. Exactly while loop. Okay. Now, now that we're done with that, we have a lot of things to do in loops. You can write something like that. If sorry, for I in range, let's start from 1, go to 11, right? And then I'm printing I, then I'm checking condition. If I modulo 2 is equal to 0, print I. What is that this going to do? First, it's going to run the loop of 1 to 10. And then it is going to identify that if this certain condition is satisfied. What is this condition? If the number is divisible by 2 and does not leave any remainder, and the remainder is equal to 0, then we are going to print that number. That means, in other sense, we are going to print only the even numbers from this. Right? That's the entire thing. That's how you can do that. So, using the concept of loops, you can use and you can print, use loops, you can use conditional as well. So, where to use loops and where to use while loop? Basically, you can use anywhere. You can use for loop, you can use while loop anywhere. It's just that which thing you are more comfortable with. So, where is infinite loop used in real world? Infinite loops is not used that much. It's infinite loops is used if you see there's no thing as infinite loop. Every loop is running. Either it's a small loop or it's a very large loop. There's no infinite loop. Infinite loop is something that you have terribly written wrong. That is when it becomes an infinite loop. If I'm the thing that I was talking about with hacking cracking, that is where you're going to use. It's going to be a long loop, but it has a stop point. That means it is going to stop once it has cracked this entire thing, right? So it has a stop point. The stop point is very big. That's the only case. I'm bringing and will have master just that this course. Azima, you're going to take care of the articles. You have to read the articles on your own. I'm trying to pace it up as slow as possible so that you guys can understand. Right. Now, there's a lot of concept in loops. I have understood that I can use if conditions. Basically, I can check if the number is divisible by 7. I can write something like this as well. Let me give you a question. Check. Uh, Print the first 10 even numbers in the range 1 to 1,000. Okay. That means you have to use till 1,000 range, but you have to print only the first 10 even numbers. How are you going to do that? You need a few more things. Suppose there are certain loop conditions. Suppose I'm writing for I in range 1 to 11. Okay. And if I'm printing I, I'm printing I. I'm adding condition if I is equal to 5. Right. Then what you're going to do is you're going to break. This is an inbuilt condition. So what it does is the loop is supposedly going to run from 1 to 10, but if the I is equal to 5, it has just broken out of the entire loop. So you have break, you have continue, you have pass. These are the kind of loop operation, and break is the majorly used. Right. So now try to solve this question on your own. After this question, we're going to jump to a little more advanced concepts of this. Do this question, everyone. Keep solving it. No, Sandhya, this is not going to print the loop. This is going to print the odd numbers. I will explain that guys towards the end of the session. Okay, let's check. I am running a loop. If sorry, for I in range, it should start with 1, it should go till 10,001. Okay, then what I'm doing is, 1 second. Then what I'm doing is, I'm running a loop. Okay, now I'm going to print. I have to check for even numbers as well. So if I modulo 2 is equal to 0, if that's the case, then you're going to print I. Okay, and it is doing a count as well. It is trying to count as well. So let's do one thing. I have initialized a counter as 0. Okay, here every time it is going to print, I'm going to use count is equal to count plus 1. Right, so it is increasing the counter. I'm adding another condition of if, that if count is equal to what, 10, then just break it. As simple as that. It is printing the first 10 and it is breaking that. If I don't apply this condition, now it is going to print for every number out there from the range of uh, what, 1 to 1000. Hey, so check this code and ask me if you have any doubts. Otherwise, you're going to move forward in the picture. Yes, that's correct. If I is equal to 10, 20, that's when you know that uh, it's 20th element, right? In case you don't know the 20th element, then you're going to use the counter. Okay. So this is how you can use loops, and you can use a lot of conditions for a lot of things for loops. Let's move to the new concept, next concept, and that is the basic few things that you should know is about pattern printing. I want you to have an idea of this as well, right? So let's try solve a few patterns. Okay. Suppose I'm writing number is equal to 5. It should print something like this. It should print something like this. This is known as a pattern printing. In case you want to develop your logic in coding skills, specifically for your logical aptitude, you should go for these pattern printing. Pattern printing is the best way possible to help you develop the logic. Take your time for this. Take 1 or 2 minutes. So let me solve the first question for you so that you can get the ground running. See, how you're going to do that is, if I write a loop for I in range, it should start with 1, it will go till 6, and if I print I, what's going to happen is I'm printing the numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So if I just multiply this number with what? Star, As simple as that. That means one time star, now it is two, so two times stars. Now it's three, so three times stars. Now it's four, four times stars. That's your basic of pattern printing. Got it? Do another question for pattern printing. Can you print this? Very simple again. We're going to do one or two more questions of pattern printing. Yes. Do this one. Do this one. It's again very simple. Hmm. Correct. Yes. So for this question, we're just reversing this entire string. Yes. So for this question, we are just reversing this entire thing. Let's run it. For I in range, we're going to start with 6. No, we're going to start with 5. We're going to go till 0. And every time we're going to have a negative iteration. And then we're just going to print I multiplied by star. And it is going to get printed. Another question. One more button. 1, double 2, double 3, double 4. Do this. Make this pattern. Understand this that when we are going for data analytics or when we're going for Python, core Python and library based Python both are very needed. Core Python is very crucial because if you don't understand about core Python, what is core Python? The basics, that is loops, conditional statements, and your functions and your basic data structures. If you don't understand that correctly, you will not be able to understand much better about the library based Python. Okay? Yes, Muskan, that's correct. Okay. Yes. So let's check this question as well. Uh, how you're going to do this? You're going to just write a loop for I in range. Start this range from 1, go to 8 because 7 is also getting printed here. Then I have to print what? If I print I, I'm going to get 1 to 7. But I want it to have 1 times 1, 2 times 2. If I multiply this whole thing with string of I, now what is happening? Right? Let's check. See, 1 is getting converted to a string, so 1, and it is getting multiplied with 1. So 1 time is getting printed. 2 is getting converted to a string, so 2 is getting multiplied with 2. That means 2, 2. Then 3 is getting multiplied with the number 3, and it is first of all getting converted to a string. 3, 3, 3. Right? Similarly, 6 is getting converted to a string, and then 6 times 6. So 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Right? That's how the pattern is being followed. Now I'll give you this as a homework. Try to do this question on your own. This is your hollow triangle. This is known as your hollow triangle. Okay. This is your homework for pattern printing, and you'll have to solve this on your own and give me the answers in the next class. Okay. Star pattern printing, square pattern printing, square star, square star pattern, square star. Can you mention what is square star pattern? Is this what you're talking about? Something like this? Shubham. Hollow, right? So this one. This is your hollow square. See, for hollow square, I will not give you the solution because this is kind of similar to to the one that I gave you as the homework. Understand this that you have two to three rings. This is the first part. This entire thing is the second part, and this is the third part. So there is going to be three kind of separate loops. Okay, three different separate loops for this. One is to print this, one is to print this, and one is to print this. In this, you're going to first of all print this first number, and then you're going to have the number of spaces. How many spaces does it have? This is for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 cross 5 square. That means the number of spaces is 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. That means if you take a 7 by 7, then it is going to have 5 spaces in between because it is always n minus 2. First star, then the number of spaces, then a star. That's it. That's the entire thing. Okay. I've given you the hint. Sean, try to do this. If you're not able to do that, I will explain that in the next class. So after this, what you can do is you can directly jump to, we will cover about functions and all in the next class, but I want to give you the basic of data structures first so that you can cover up the concept of the lectures of the articles that are coming in the future. Right. So data structures, what is data structures? Try to understand this that basically you need an efficient way of storing the data. Right. Up till now, what is happening is that let's take a scenario that you have a class. Okay, inside that class you have students. Now you want to store the roll number of these students. How are you going to store the roll number of these students is, let's write roll number 1, and you're going to give the roll number as, let's say, 12. Okay, similarly you're going to have roll number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Right, supposedly you have 100 roll numbers like this, 100 students in the class. You're going to create 100 different variables. Let's assume I can create them. Next stage is that now they have to have physics marks. So you write physics marks underscore roll number 12, and then you're going to score the marks. Similarly, you're going to create variables for different students, that this is the physics marks for this roll number, this is the physics marks for this roll number. So you're going to create again variables, 100 different variables for storing physics marks, 100 different variables for storing their chemistry marks, 100 different variables for storing their English marks, 100 different variables for storing their phone number, 100 different variables for storing their articles, their address, right? Things like these. So this is not an efficient way of storing the data, right? Let's assume I can do this. I have created up till now 500, 600 different kind of variables, okay, and I am good with it. Now let's assume that I have to create more. Let's assume this was just for entire class. Now I have to have three classes like that, so it's going to multiply by 3, right? Let's assume I can do that. Let's talk about this as an entire section. These are the sections that I'm talking about. Suppose I have 12 different classes. Variable count is going to go up. Now let's assume that you have, this was the entire one school. Now I have 15 or 20 different schools, right? How will I be able to manage that? I will not be able to do that, right? That's where the concept of variables fail. Now you need something which is more efficient to store the data, and that is where your data structures come into the picture. So the very first data structure that we're going to learn about is list. Now, what does a list look like? So we initialize a list using the square braces, right? You can apply that using the square braces, and then you can directly print what? LST, and let's print the type of list. So this is an empty list, and this is a class list. Okay, this is how you define a list. Now let's impute certain elements and let's see how better it is to do that. So let's take roll numbers. Roll number, and now using the list I can store the different kind of roll numbers that there are associated. Okay. Now I want to store physics marks, so I can store like this: physics marks is equal to, let's do this, 1 2 3 4 5, right? Similarly, I want to store chemistry marks, I want to store phone numbers, I can store address, I can store anything that I want now in this very format. Okay, this is the concept of list. Now let's check, can I store anything in this inside list? So I'm storing 1 2 3. This is your basic data types of integer. Then I'm storing harsh abc. Okay, then I'm storing 12.23, 3.142, and then I'm storing true, I'm storing false. Now one is integer, one is string, one is float, one is boolean. Now if I print list, it is simply getting printed. That means I can store anything inside it. I can store it in any format possible. Uh, I can have data types. I can have data structure. I can have basic any kind of data types stored inside one same list. Now, similarly, as we go into the future, we're going to learn about arrays as well. Arrays is a concept of NumPy. Now, it is also a library that is kind of similar to list, but understand that the list is the fundamental concept, and on top of that, you have created these arrays. Right? Arrays are much more faster that compared to list. Why? Because it stores a single kind of variable. So if you have numbers, if you have integer, it's going to store integer itself. If you have string, it is going to have string only. Right? Now, I have created a list. Now let's talk about indexing or addressing a single part. Suppose I print lst of 2. Now what does that mean? That means print me the value uh, from this list that is at index 2. So this is the 0th index, this is the first index, this is the second index, right? So this is the second index, it is going to print 3 for me. Similarly, if I write 6, what am I going to get? What am I going to get if I write 6? So indexes in programming language start with 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, and like this. 3.42, right? So if I run this, I'm going to get the answer as 3.42 because there's a 0th index, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and there's a sixth index. Correct? Now, through this, here comes a concept of uh, uh, so basically, list is mutable or immutable. So the concept of mutability and immutability comes in the picture. So what is mutable? Mutable means that something that can be changed. What is immutable? That something that cannot be changed. That means supposedly I want to change the name of ABC to, let's say, uh, Vineet. Okay, how can I do that? First, I'll write LST of what index is it at. So there's the 0th index, first index, second index, third index, and this is the fourth index. So I will write LST of 4, and I will write, instead of ABC, I will write now Vinny. And then now let's print LST and see. So you can see that instead of ABC, it has replaced with Vinny. That means list is mutable in nature and I can change them as and when on the go. With this comes a concept of list slicing. What is this list slicing? So if I print LST of, again square brackets, I write 2 and then 1, I write a colon and then I write 5. Now it is going to be printed. That means start from 1, go till 5. So start from 1, this is the first index, go till 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It should go till this, or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It should go till this, but again, it kind of is similar to your range function. So it does not go towards the last one. It is always n minus 1. So it went till we need. Okay. Similarly, if I write LST of 2 to 8, I'm going to start from 2, 0, 1, 2. I'm going to start from here and I'm going to go till 8, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But 8 is not going to be followed, so it is going to go till this point, up till this. The values are going to be printed. Correct? Now, you can add another clause to it. So you have start, you have stop, and you also have step. Now, if I write step as 2, that means it is going to jump as well. So it will start with 3, 3, 4, then next 1, 2, then next, right? So this is exactly how it's going to follow. So what exactly is going to be printed if I write print LST of 1 till 6, 1 till 7 with 4. Now, what is the answer that I'm going to get? And this follows the concept of slicing. This is slicing. What am I going to get? 1 beneath. See, the list is starting with 1, not with 0, Shubham. Check it once again. 12.23. No. See, what is happening is that the list is starting from 1. That means 0, 1. That means it is going to start from 2. And it will go till 8, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is going to go till here. But since the last number is not followed, it is going to go till here. And then it is jumping for 4. That means first this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, then this number. So it's going to print only 2 and 12.23. Clear? Okay. One final concept of slicing is that you also can write something like this. What does that means? I have not defined anything in the start. I have not defined anything in the stop. That means start from the very start, go towards the very end, and minus 1. That means do negative iteration. Now this entire list is reversed. So this is how you can reverse an entire list in Python. Okay. Is everything clear up to this point? Yes. Okay. So we're going to stop our conversation till here, and in the next class onward, we're going to continue with list. With in the next class, we're going to cover list. We're going to cover set, tuple, and dictionary. We're going to cover that all. Okay. One more thing, I will show you the batch because someone was asking where to check the class and the recording and things like that. Just 1 second. Data analytics. Where is it? This is Python batch, right? This is Python. Just one second. Let me open up the link. Yeah. So this is the batch page. And if you go to the live class here and scroll down a little, you'll be able to see the archive section, in which you can see the last class as well that we took. Okay. For people who are wondering about this, you can get that from here. Okay. And you will have a doubt resolution session for this as well. Okay. So the doubt resolution session is going to happen. So in case you had any doubts that we did today, how to maintain 60-day streak as Python is only for 12 days, as a Python course is only for 12 days. No, it's not for 12 days. It's going to be extended for 60 days. If you cannot collect that, I don't know. Then Gayatri, what you can do is you can mail to the Geeks for Geeks team and they'll take care of this. Okay, perfect. Any other doubts in case you have, you are going to have a doubt session. So you can ask that doubts there and get yourself resolved with that. So one second. Let me share you my LinkedIn ID so that in case you have any problems, you can directly connect with me out there. And I guess that's it for today's session. Then we meet again next week. Thank you, everyone. And in case you have any doubts, you're going to have a doubt session. So you can join that. There. Okay. Thank you, everyone. We'll meet in the next one.